president in less than 2 weeks. But not everybody's on board. In fact, some people on the left are doing their best to subvert democracy and the American way by encouraging people to not even give the incoming president a chance to lead. The chance that he earned fair and square back in November. Here's left-wing movie director Michael Moore right after the election talking about what he and his followers are going to be doing in the days up to and beyond the inauguration while Donald Trump is working tirelessly to fix the country.
We are going to resist. We are going to oppose. This is going to be a massive resistance. There's already, women are calling for a 1 million woman march.
Okay, so it's indicative of a movement on the left to delegitimize a new president. And joining me now to talk about that and more is the incoming White House Press Secretary, Sean Spicer. All right, good evening, Sean. You know, just listening to Eric, and it was really an emotional piece that his foundation that, you know, he is forced to separate himself from because, you know, nothing that he's done, he's not even in the government, but because of the behavior of, I believe, the Clintons and all of the attacks on that foundation that I believe were legitimate. But now we have people saying, let's stop President Trump before he even gets there. Well, the man hasn't stopped working. I mean, how are you going to convince these people that Donald Trump was elected fair and square and let's give the man a chance?
Well, there's a couple of things, Judge. First, just commenting on the last segment, I think it is sad that Eric Trump worked so hard for St. Jude's and the work that he's done and the monies that he's raised, because he's right that the only children who lose are those sick children at St. Jude's. He has done some amazing work, as have the other children, and the Trump Foundation as a whole. And it's sad because the losers are the people that they have so, you know, worked so hard to help. But getting to your question, I mean, look, on November 8th, Donald Trump won 30 states, 9 of 13 battleground states, 306 electoral votes, over 2,600 counties, and flipped 200 counties that Barack Obama carried in 12. I'm not sure how much more resounding of a win that you can get. The movement that he led spoke loud and clearly on Election Day. So, but I think more importantly to your point, since he took that stage at 2:50 a.m. and talked about uniting all Americans, he has worked tirelessly not only to put together probably the most amazing cabinet ever seen, but to get results, whether it's Carrier or Sprint, and talking about thousands of jobs that he is personally working to bring back to this country, or saving the American taxpayers millions and billions of dollars through his work to lower the cost of the F-35 or the next generation of Air Force One. A guy who's still 13 days from office has a track record as president-elect that most presidents would like to have as president.
Yeah, but Sean, look, the positives that the president-elect can talk about, I mean, are clear. I mean, I think that most people are blown away by the fact that the man is even working 24/7. But more importantly, there is this. It's not just Democrat. It's not progressive. It's not just left. It's almost anarchist. There are communists. I mean, revolutionary communists taking out ads saying we've got to stop this man. Is there a concern for the inauguration? They're talking about protests, do whatever they can to stop Donald Trump.
Well, look, I think that more and more of these individuals are finding themselves in the minority. There's going to be probably a historic record of people filling the mall, because the movement that Donald Trump has led is a movement of change, a movement that finally taps into the frustration that so many American workers are finally saying, thank you for understanding what I've been saying for so long and been so forgotten. So I think that inauguration is going to be a historic one, in that it's not just going to be an amazing day, but it's going to be the beginning of an amazing 8 years for Donald Trump. He's going to, the thing that I think is going to be fascinating, Judge, is at some point, the facts are just going to become overwhelming because of the number of successes that he has as president, both domestically and internationally. At some point, you have to say, wow, he has saved a job of a friend or a family member. He has lifted up the wages of someone that I know. My health care has gone down, and I can now go see that doctor that I talked about. I have more educational choices. The inner cities are better than they were. The roads and bridges and infrastructure of our country are finally getting repaired the way that they should have.
Democrats right now are being so obstructionary or obstructionist that they're saying, you know, we've got all of these ethical hurdles hurdles that before we even get to the confirmation hearings? I mean, I've never heard about these ethical procedures, hurdles that they have to overcome first. Have you?
No, you didn't hear about them in 2008 when Chuck Schumer voted 42 times to look the other way on Democrats that were seeking appointments in the Obama administration. You didn't see them when Chuck Schumer, when the Republicans granted 7 of those Democratic nominees their confirmation vote on day 1 and 5 more the next time, 13 by voice vote in total. Republicans acted professionally and responsibly in 2008 and recognized that the president has an opportunity to have the people that are qualified to be in his cabinet. Donald Trump, as president-elect, has selected the most qualified cabinet in modern history, if not ever. I think these Democrats are getting split by Chuck Schumer because I think Schumer is trying to play a political game here, but most Democrats recognize that the movement wasn't just about Republicans. It was about Democrats and independents and many of their own constituents. You take a state like Missouri where President-elect Trump carried that by 19 points. I don't think Claire McCaskill is going to want to vote against that kind of an overwhelming message when it comes to these confirmation picks, because not only do they qualify, but she's got to recognize that she's going to have to answer to her constituents if she doesn't understand the change that they voted for in Missouri and, frankly, states around the country.
Donald Trump has an opportunity to continue to change the landscape and those elections going forward. Anyway, Sean Spicer, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.